Welcome back, Spartans. I am Chris Amato, principal of the Township of Ocean Intermediate School, and we are getting prepared for the 2022-2023 school year. We're only a few days away, and I want to take a moment to update you on a few of the changes that you can expect at the intermediate school this year. I'm actually going to be doing two videos. I'm going to do one that pertains to the schedule, and then I'll send out another one that pertains to some of the updates and maybe just some reminders as we get back into the swing of things here. So first thing I want to do is I want to talk about our schedule. We had some changes to our schedule. And what we're really trying to do is make some improvements to the schedule that allowed us to have a little bit more continuity of instruction for our students. We know we just came off of a pandemic, and we're really trying to catch up a little bit. So we wanted to be creative that way. We felt that this was necessary in order to help our students. And in doing so, we wanted to make an adjustment to the schedule that allowed us to have some built-in interventions into our schedule. So I'm going to go through those now. I'm going to share my screen. Just hang tight with me for a second. Okay, and I'm going to start with our schedule. Okay, so we actually made two changes to our schedule. First, we made a change to the actual schedule, and then we made changes to the lunches. So let me start with the actual schedule. So we talked about continuity of instruction, so let's continue to talk about continuity of instruction. So during the pandemic, we made the days, the red, white days, instead of alternating throughout a 2-week cycle, we made them stagnant days. So Monday and Thursday is always a red day schedule. Tuesday and Friday is always a white day schedule. And then Wednesday always alternated. What you can see here now is the change that we made is right there on Wednesday. We actually creatively called this the pink schedule. Okay, so the pink schedule is we are going to start with a red day schedule and run through 1, 2, 3, 4, and then switch and go white 1, 2, 3, 4. So instead of them being full 82-minute blocks of time, they're actually going to be 41-minute blocks of time. So this is going to allow us to have our students see their teachers 3 times per week. Over a 2-week period of time, it's still the same amount of time, but it just allows for a little more continuity of instruction. We put it in on Wednesday for several reasons. One, it allows simply just to have back-to-back days with senior teacher, whether it's you see them on white day on Tuesday, and then you see them on Wednesday, or vice versa. You see them on, the Wednesday, and then you see them on Thursday on the red schedule. So it allows you to see them back-to-back. Okay. So that's one thing. The other thing is now, the schedule is just going to be completely predictable. I no longer have to send out those monthly calendars saying what the days are and the Wednesdays are switching, because it's always going to be this. It's always going to be this. Red schedule days on Monday and Thursday. Tuesday and Friday will be white schedule day, and then Wednesday will always be pink. Okay, so you'll see all your teachers on that day. Okay. Let me just see. So some of the other things that is important here is, let's talk about lunches now. Okay, so lunches, within our schedule, we had some issues over the past couple of years, especially in grades 6 and 7, because they would have lunches that they would go to class, then they would go to lunch, and they would return to class. And that break up of time really slowed things down in the classroom. Okay, so what we're doing now is we are mixing grade level lunches. Okay, so we're going from 3 lunches to 2 lunches, and what's going to allow that to happen is, once again, more continuity of instruction. So now the 7th grade students will be split, and some will go with the 8th grade on some days, and some will go with the 6th grade on some days. It's not always going to be the same. You're not always going to be stuck with 6th grade, and you're not always going to, my friends are always in the other lunch. You will have opportunities to be in both lunches. And so we split that lunch. And by splitting that lunch, we are now allowing for, during those periods, full blocks of time. no interruptions because of lunch. Okay, so that's really exciting news. So when you go to your block 3 class on a red scheduled day on a Monday, you will go to your class and then go to lunch, no interruptions, or vice versa, go to lunch and then go to your class. So let me just review this again, because this is one big change. I know there's a lot of things here. So pink schedule day is Wednesday. So we have predictable schedule now, no more monthly calendars going out, predictable schedule. Monday and Thursday, red schedule day. Tuesday, Friday, white schedule day. Wednesday is a pink schedule. It means you see all of your classes for an abbreviated period of time. The other thing that's really great about this, and one of the main reasons why we chose the Wednesday, is that it allows our teachers to introduce a lesson on Monday or Tuesday. On Wednesday, make any adjustments that we need to make. That's kind of like an intervention. It's like a what I need block of time for our students. We make adjustments to our lessons. We provide any interventions we need to, whether it's on one end of the spectrum or the other. It doesn't matter. It allows us to push our students or help our students in any way. And then we finish the week strong. So that's kind of how we're envisioning it here. So we would run periods 1, 2, 3, 4 on red schedule, and then periods 1, 2, 3, 4 on a white schedule day. Okay. All right. So now let's talk about where our students eat lunch, because we talked about the fact that our students in 7th grade in particular are going to be split. So it's very simple for our 6th grade and our 8th grade. Okay. 8th grade, you're always going to have the first lunch. Okay. You're always going to have the first lunch. The first lunch, I'm just double checking, is 11:04 to 11:34 on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay, you're always going to have the first lunch, 8th grade. 6th grade, you're always going to have the second lunch, okay, which is 12:34 to 1:04. Okay, you're always going to have those lunches. It's the 7th grade where we have to pay attention to which lunch do we go to. And we tried to make this as simple as possible so you knew 7th grade which lunch you needed to go to. And don't worry, we know that there might be a little bit of confusion on the first couple of days. There's always confusion on the first couple of days. Students getting lost, can't open their locker. We're there to help. There'll be plenty of teachers to help out. We will make sure you get to the right place. But for 7th graders, this is how you know which lunch you're going to go to. If you have an academic class that's math, language arts, science, or social studies, or you happen to be in an elective that is a mixed grade level class, because we do have some classes that are a 7th and 8th grade level class. Okay, like sports journalism is a 7th and 8th grade class, or Spartan leaders is a 7th and 8th grade class, or band could be a 7th and 8th grade class. Those are just a few examples. So if you happen to have a mixed grade level class, you will go to the first lunch. Okay, let me say that again. If you have an academic class, which is math, ELA, science, social studies, or a mixed grade level class, you go to the first lunch. Okay, so you'll eat with the 8th graders on that day. If you have an elective class, that's all other classes. Any other class, you go to the second lunch. So you'll eat lunch with the 6th graders on that day. Okay, as I previously mentioned, it's not always going to be the same lunch. You will not always eat with the same group of students every day, because you could have an academic class on a red day and you can have an elective class on a white day. So you could be going to 2 different lunches, and which is great because most students have friends in other grade levels, and it allows you to see your friends all over. Okay, so that is the first part. That is our schedule adjustments that we have made thus far. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. But for the most part, our students should be pretty well adjusted to this, other than the pink schedule. And it should be, the students always do better than the adults. They always do. They're so resilient. They're going to be perfectly fine. Okay. Now the next thing I want to just go over is just another way of us being able to communicate with you. Although we do use email a lot, and we use Web Backpack and Twitter, in cases of, inclement weather or bus delays and things like that, other than Twitter, we also like to use Remind. And when we first started using Remind during the pandemic, to be quite honest, it was a little rushed. We were trying to do it really quickly, and there really wasn't a formula, especially for me, for getting people to sign up to the right classroom. So now we're changing that, and we've already sent it out, and I can already see people are joining the Remind, but I'm going to show you this. These are the new Remind codes for the Township of Ocean Intermediate School. Okay. So let's explain this. Each grade level has 2 codes that they can join. It doesn't matter which one you join, you have 2 of them. The reason why we have 2 of them is because with the addition that we have on Remind, or that I have on Remind, you can only have 150 students or 150 people in a classroom. Okay, which all of our class sizes are more than 150. So I need 2 just to make sure that we have enough space that we can get the majority, get everybody covered. So in 8th grade, you are the graduating class of 2027. So it's class of 2027. And then you do dash and you choose 1 or 2, whichever one you want to put in there. For 7th grade, you are the graduating class of 2028. Same thing, class of 2028, and choose 1 or 2. 6th grade, you're the graduating class of 2029. And 5th grade, you're the class of 2030. So this will allow me to not only send out messages to the whole school, but if there's something specific towards a grade level, I can now target that population and just send out a message directly to that population. Okay, so this has already been sent out. It went out on Web Backpack. It's up on our district website. We added it to our Google slideshow in the morning, which you'll start receiving again on Monday. You'll start receiving them on Monday. And we also sent it in email as well. And now you're seeing it in the video. So that's 5 places that you get to see these codes. And like I said, we sent this out about 10, 15 minutes ago, and I'm already getting families, parents and guardians and students that are signing up for these new Remind codes. Okay, if you are in a Remind, my Reminds from last year or the year before, I have archived those classrooms. I will no longer be sending out Reminds on those. So you have to join a new one. You must join in one of these new codes for the respective class or the appropriate class for your student. Okay, or if you are a student, join your appropriate classroom. Okay, so I really think that that's it for any of the schedule changes or the way we're going to communicate. So that this ends video number 1. And I'll be sending out video number 2 in just a few minutes, which is just going to review just a couple things about our operations of the school. I think we have five quick things and a couple updates that are important for our students. So thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions or concerns, once again, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. You can reach us, reach me at my email, camato@oceanschools.org, or you can call the main office, 732-531-5630, extension 7000. All right, Spartans, I really look forward to having you back in school in just a couple of days. Can't wait to hear about all the wonderful things you did over the summer and really getting back to, getting back to learning as we had known it a much long time ago, prior to the pandemic. It's time to get back to work and get back to what we do best. All right, so Spartans, I'll see you very soon.